Need a stronger camera. Y'all, I am at a hotel and I didn't want to pay for an extra day to stay here. And so I'm using the boutique area to do the webinar, the lounge area. So we'll see how this goes. I need some light. I need some light. I need some light. Good. Cool. So we got this on. Let me make sure if I want to share my screen. We're good on that end. This needs to be minimized. Let's see. Oh. Hey, Christian. Thank you for checking in. Let me change some music, change this music up. Start with, Hi. Just waiting to 1 o'clock, and then we're gonna get started. Hey everyone, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for signing on today, joining us. I'm back. So excited for today's guest. Nice, nice, nice. Very, very excited. We have a LinkedIn expert that's joining us today. So if you all are currently working, or if you're looking to increase your income, or just trying to figure out how to get a higher paying job, we have Jess Davis here today, who's going to give you insight as to what you would need to do to optimize your resume or to optimize the LinkedIn platform to help you get to the bag through your job. So I'm so excited about today. This is Jess' birthday weekend, so we're going to wish her a happy birthday when she joins us. But just sit tight, relax as we get ready to provide you with an engaging and informational show. Oh, here go Jessica right now. Promote to panelists. All right, all right, all right.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Jess.
On a regular.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm sure more people will come in as we continue to progress throughout the show. First of all, I want to thank you for joining us. I am super duper excited. A lot of the webinars that I've been hosting have focused on stocks, real estate. And so now I do want to put attention on optimizing your job, right? Leveraging your job to get to the bag, because we have evolved to a culture where people are like, F that job, boss bitches, you know what I'm saying?
Girl, okay.
We have evolved to that type of culture. And it's like, no, don't be too quick to quit your job, because I've been able to benefit a lot. I've been able to benefit a lot from having a job and using that to help me even get the homes that I have and so forth. And also,
and I'm so proud of you. I was just telling my friend how amazing you are and how you are doing your thing, sis.
Thank you. You doing your thing?
Oh yes, this is my homegirl Tiara.
Hi, Tiara.
She works at LinkedIn and she's going to be joining and providing some feedback too.
So you all are so lucky, like, that we have an expert from LinkedIn here joining us.
Okay.
We're gonna be lit. We're gonna help all of y'all get to the bag, y'all, for real. And so that you don't feel bad about working at your job, because listen, I wouldn't even be where I'm at today had it not been for me being strategic about the resources that the job offers. So before we get to Jess, I always like to do a mindset activity, because you and I both know, Jess and AB, that if you don't have the mental capacity to do the work or what have you, then it's going to be very challenging, right? So you have to make sure that your mental is together, and you have to make sure that you have a positive mindset, and that you are thinking, that you have a really good growth mindset and thinking pattern to help you get in, or to help you jump on this journey to generational wealth and financial freedom. And what I'm hoping today, because I know that we go through these dry spells where we're like, oh, I hate my job, that your mindset shifts. Like, if you begin to think of how your job can work for you instead of focusing on how you are working for your job, then that in itself will help you have a positive mindset and outlook on working at the jobs that you're at right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and so our guest include on top of just being here and dropping jewels and insight, you know, we always have William Holmes, the executive director of the Project Grow, who will provide research on a couple of stocks. We're not going to focus too much on stocks today, but he will drop some jewels. And then, of course, AB, our certified financial advisor from New Orleans, who will also drop some jewels to leave you on the path that you need to go on to get to continue on your journey to generating wealth.
Hello, everyone. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Hello.
Mic check. Mic check. Okay. Just making sure.
Okay. So I usually try to keep my quotes, you know, by phenomenal Black women or Black men, but I would be remiss not to share this quote here because I think that so many of us become complacent in where we're at. And as a result of us becoming complacent, it makes it even more challenging for us to get to acquire more things that are the better things in life. And so I'm going to lead off with this quote, and then we're just going to talk a little bit about it, and then we're going to jump into Jess. So with this quote by Michelangelo, you guys know Michelangelo from you know, the 1400s, 1475, 1500s, or what have you. I don't know the years exactly, but he's a great, phenomenal artist, right? He's known for his art in the paintings and sculptures that we continue to admire to today. And so he stated, the problem human beings face is not that we aim too high and fail, but that we aim too low and succeed. Michelangelo said this. I'm gonna say it one more time, y'all. We're gonna talk about it. The problem human beings face is not that we aim too high and fail, but that we aim too low and succeed. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. The question that I pose to you all is, why is it better to fail at aiming high than to succeed at aiming low? Why is it better to fail at aiming high than to succeed at aiming low? So I'm going to give you all about 30 seconds to a minute to think about it and throw some smooth jazz on. And I'm looking for at least 2 people to share their response. Jess, I'm going to look for you to share out if nobody else from the chat wants to share.
I got
Why
you.
is it better to fail at aiming high than to succeed at aiming low? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this music and give you about 30 seconds to a minute to think about your responses. Right. All right. So we have some individuals who shared their responses in the chat box. And then if I have anyone who wants to share out verbally, just click the hand raising icon, and then that lets me know that you want to share out verbally. All right, we got Marsha. Thank you, Marsha. So I'm gonna get you to share out. Let me just read what some individuals shared in the chat box. Jess, if you want to jump in, you can also share out there, Marsha. All right, so So I hope I pronounced your name right. Mingnan said that when you succeed at aiming low, you have no more goals to achieve. When you aim high, there's a bar you set to reach. Absolutely. One more thing, if you're sharing in the chat box, make sure you click, instead of just sending chat to the panelists, make sure you send it to panelists and attendees so that everybody can read it. Okay, so make sure you click the tab that says panelists and attendees so that everyone can read what you're sharing out. So Rena Ambrose shared that your end result will always be higher. Liddy, thank you for joining us again. We missed you. This quote reminds me of shoot for the moon. And even if you miss, you'll still land among the stars. Absolutely. That I actually thought about that quote, Liddy, when I came across this. And then Sadiqa Paccio shared, you have to at least go for what you want. Failure is not bad. It should be motivation to continue going. Cool. And so now I'm going to have Marsha to come through.
Thank you. Good afternoon, friends. Thank you, Amber, for having us back again. Real quickly, I thought about this and I was like, thinking local wise, we have some successful mom and pop shops or bodegas. If you're here in NYC where, you got a bodega shop, you could be only getting money from that particular neighborhood, right? And even if it's like a bomb ass bodega selling everything that community needs, you're still just in that market. But if you're filling up, maybe you open up a couple of stores, maybe you taking your brand, digitally, you're going bigger because you're casting your net wider. The other train of thought that hit me real quickly was biblically, right? If you subscribe to biblical principles, there is a notion about spreading your talents, right? Like there was people who God gave them talents, and one hid their talent, one just scattered it, like just within the area, and one cast their net wider. So those were the two thoughts that came to mind. Great question.
Thank you, Marsha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, and so I also want to read some. Rena added more. The statement that was shared is failure drives success. When new products are made, when you want to take the perfect picture, how many shots does it take? I love it. I love it. Jess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to co-sign what Marsha was saying. Sorry, I lost my voice this weekend, y'all. But Marsha, +1 to everything you said. And I also wanted to say, like, failing up is something that is also important, because even though you may have failed, but you get to see what it's like to at least experience success, or at least be around people that are living the life that you want, that are doing the things that you want. So you get a taste of it. So it makes you have that drive to want to go back and try again. Aaliyah said, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. I have failed so many times at like literally everything, but you have to have that grit, that tenacity to just keep going, because if you really want something bad enough, the entire universe will conspire and make sure that you get it. So don't give up. Okay,
Thank you for that. AV, do you want to share out before we move on? I know he's like busy in the background and stuff. All right. So Jess, now we're just going to focus on you. So definitely if you are on this journey in terms of trying to like jump into stocks, jumping into entrepreneurship, or just trying to, maybe you're at a job, they have intrapreneurships, right? An entrepreneur is someone who's scaling up at their jobs. Like they're not just starting from scratch, right? There's ways of like making a lot of income from the jobs that you're currently working in. So how do you leverage that and so forth? Or how do you use the company or organization that you're a part of to acquire the financial goals that you have for yourself? All right. So I want us to kind of just think around that. And if you are thinking too small, if your dreams are small, or if you are complacent with where you're at, then I'm going to push you to think big, dream big. All right. So without further ado, I am so excited to have my sis Jess here with us. I met Jess on Clubhouse every morning. We are it's only the two of us women, right? It's like a room full of
Yes.
guys, and it's just the two of us that's
Lot of
up there just holding it
testosterone.
down. You know, I typically moderate, and I typically moderate the stage and so forth, and just make sure that everything is running smoothly. And so I don't get to put as much input while we are doing the club, but Jessica be dropping jewels and stuff. And I went and just, no, I'm like, let me check Jess out. And I'm just like, man, I need to have her on the show, man. So I reached out to her and I was like, Jess, can you please come on and drop some jewels to our audience and so forth. And on her birthday weekend, you guys, she is here. So really quickly before she jumps in, go ahead and throw some J's in the chat box to show Jess some love and tell her happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's Jessica's birthday. Throw some J's in the chat box. Show Jess some love.
Thank you guys. I love you all. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Yes,
so
yes,
Amber,
yes.
I did not prepare a presentation. I'm not gonna lie, but I have notes.
Of course, okay.
Be like more of a conversational thing.
Absolutely. That is more. And I basically put, so usually, because I know sometimes it's a lot just going on to someone else's platform. And so I'm gonna give you like a little preview, right? So I created some bullet points. That's why
I saw those on the gram, and I based my notes off of your bullet points. So
of course, so just let me know when to go on to the next slide. I try to make it as easy for our guests as possible because I know how nerve-wracking it can be.
Yeah.
To be on the platform. So I get it. All you have to do is just show up. All right. So before we jump into your presentation, I have a couple of questions for you so that our audience can just know who you are and what you do. So my question, let me pull up my notes really quickly.
Take your time.
Who is Jess Davis?
Okay, that's tough. Okay, so my name is Jess Davis. Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you, Amber. I really appreciate you even considering little old me for this. I am a mom. I am a child of God. I am a career strategist. I'm a lot of things. I'm an investor. I day trade, scout gang. I am just someone that loves to help people just reach their full potential, be their best selves. I do that for all of my friends, and I do that for literally everyone that I meet. Some people can't handle it, but listen, I'm gonna help you, okay? I'm gonna help you be the best version of yourself. And I wanna be around people that are striving for that, and that'll push me too to be the best version of myself. I am a former teacher. I used to be a special education teacher for 6 years. I taught in Atlanta. Yes, come on, education for the kids. So I taught in Atlanta, I taught in Boston, and I taught a little bit in Illinois. I went back to school in 2018 and got my MBA in marketing and information systems. And I have worked in tech. I've done it all. Okay. So currently I work in ed policy for a state department of education, and I support educators of color with, getting what they need to be able to be at peace and feel like they are supported when they come into work so they can help our kids be supported when they're learning. Okay. So that's what I'm passionate about. And I met Amber on Clubhouse on our show, The Value Circle. Shout out to Rick, Pre-Market Movers.
Shout out to Rick.
And, I just am really happy that God put Clubhouse in our lives, as crazy as that sounds, and brought us together, because I'm just really happy to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what led, so your business is Resume Badge, right?
Yes.
What led you to create a Resume Badge, and what services and products does your business offer?
Awesome. Yeah, so great question. I started Resume Badge last year. Last summer in July, end of July, during the pandemic, because it was just really started on by the pandemic because, you know, a lot of people were losing their jobs, and every other day you would turn on the TV and you would hear the jobs reports, and every week it would get worse. Like it was just progressively getting worse. And I was always the person that my friends would come to help them when they needed to get a job, because I'm good at like, you know, with words, I'm good at like with language. In the 3rd grade, I got the Mary Grasser O'Neill Award for reading and writing. So that's when I knew that this was my destiny. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so like I love supporting people with getting to the next level. And my friends like always come to me if they need a resume done, if they need help with their LinkedIn, if they want to prepare for an interview. Because they know like I'm good at like getting into the jobs that I want and then into the industries that I want. So I just sat back one day and was like, dang, a lot of people are hurting right now. A lot of people need jobs, and there are jobs out there, but they don't even know how to get them, because you see these jobs reports and you see X number of millions of people, 10 million people a week applying for unemployment. But then you also look at certain industries and you see that the number of jobs that they have is increasing. Like if you look at the tech industry, you look at cybersecurity, those jobs are growing exponentially. And by like 2025, like there's a need. So especially for people of color too, I wanted to just give us some hope, like in the resources that we needed to get to the next level. So I started Resume Badge in 2020, and I have been just progressively growing it ever since. I have supported at least 1,000 people over the past year with transitioning, with resumes, with either consultations or in some method. And then now with Clubhouse, my impact has increased significantly. Like I can reach 1,000 people in an hour, which is like insane to me. Like, so I'm just here to, you know, let people know that there are things you can do. Focus on these keywords, focus on the roles that you want, and you can make it happen. And that's what Resume Badge does. I support people with resumes, LinkedIn, interview prep. I specialize in the STAR method, which is situation, task, action, and results. And that is like a preferred interview strategy that I help people in as they're getting ready to go into their different interviews. And yeah, I mean, I like to, honestly, Amber, some people will literally schedule a consultation with me just to vent. Like they'll just sit on Zoom with me like, girl, let me tell you how much I hate this job. And I'm like, yes, talk to me, tell me, I feel you. So I do a couple things.
Yo, thank you for sharing that. So you brought your friend on as well.
Yes.
You have her to introduce herself, and what does she do? Because she's a LinkedIn expert. She works for LinkedIn.
Yes,
right?
she works for LinkedIn.
Yo, come on with the resources.
You can speak today, Amber. But hi, Amber. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And it's interesting. So I met Jess from Clubhouse. Yes.
Come on, Clubhouse.
So yeah, so I'm actually a relationship manager. So I work with over 140 staffing firms. So I'm responsible with the growing and like really enhancing the recruiting and branding strategies. So I've learned so much, honestly, like really about like what it takes to stand out to really secure your job. And then if you think about LinkedIn, this is a platform. So every second, 2 profiles are created. Let me tell you guys right now, just applying for a job, it's not enough. Or even just in general, if you want to like stand out, because I'm telling you guys, LinkedIn is going to be the next wave. Period.
Mhm.
Like as far as with social media, because you can do business development, you can be yourself. It's kind of like Facebook, how it looked like back in 2012. And also too, so during like with this pandemic, last year, man, 2020 was a lot. This was honestly like the best and the worst year of my life. Like I experienced like a lot of death in my family. I'm talking like it was like I had 6 deaths in 10 months, so it was a lot.
Mhm.
And I was really just honestly like really like praying to God, and I knew that I knew like what my purpose in life is to really honestly help, like love God and love His people. And I'm realized I'm like, man, one, I'm good at making money, but I'm also good at finding people jobs as well. So I realized I'm like, yeah, yeah, this is it. So I'm working even like right now. I have a few clients. They're working on they're made it to their 3rd round interviews, and I'm talking like 50K like increase in their salaries, like because this is like what it's worth. Like we don't get right. So like it's awesome. It's awesome, and I know that like hey, like this is just the beginning. It's like I want to really change how people see LinkedIn, and I want our people to know that we matter. We have a right to be on there. And guess what? When more of our people get on there, we're gonna be taking what's ours. Okay.
Okay.
And a little bit about me. I'm actually from Philly. I used to live in Atlanta. I lived in Maryland, like in DC. I'm currently in Chicago, and I'm gonna relocate to Texas. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I live in a couple places.
We're here now, checking out apartments and
Yes,
stuff.
yes. And if
But y'all are in Texas right
We're
now?
in Dallas.
yeah, we're in Dallas.
Girl, y'all know I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Yes, I was just telling her Amber from Dallas.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just.
But you're in New York now, right?
yeah.
New
So
Jersey, New York. Yeah, I claim both states. Yeah, I'm so excited because, I am big on preaching entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And I've done both, and I can see the benefits of being an entrepreneur, but I also see the benefits of just working for an organization, because a lot of people talk about, oh, I'm making X, Y, and Z, but they don't talk about how much time you have to sacrifice. And, when you're working for a company, at least you have structures that's already there, right? That's already been tried and true and proven to work. You also have people that you can work with to help you bring things to fruition, or to help you with the tasks that you're doing. When you're starting your business and you're building it from scratch, right? Especially when your funds are low, or you don't have as much access to resources, it's tough. Like when I was operating Wicked Weaves, a lot of you all know that I had a hair salon that I operated for about 5 years, and even extended it to Dallas, right? And Marsha could tell you, because Marsha and I used to work together, I would teach during the day, operate my business at night. And there would be times where people would order wigs, and on my way to my school to teach, I'm like doing the sew-ins, the wigs in between my breaks and stuff. Yeah, and then I had to do the marketing, then I had to do payroll, and then I had to make sure that, everyone is happy. So that can be quite overwhelming. And some people are built for that. And then others, are maybe they don't need the extra stress in their life and so forth. And so I'm really blessed to am fortunate to meet you all both, so that you can drop some gems and strategies to our audience, so that they don't sit there and be like, man, my friend got this business, they doing X, Y, and Z. Because these days, people are not transparent about what it really
We got jobs. We got jobs.
And I'm so happy you say that, because let me tell you guys something right now. I'm working at LinkedIn. I'm still shocked right now. I've generated over $1 million in 7 months during that pandemic for them. So let me tell you something. But I'm going to tell you guys something too. When I first started, I grew up with a single father back in Philly. Okay, I'm like his young child and all that. What's interesting is that I had a resume at 10 years old, because my dad, he saw the importance of it. So I already had that foundation. So I technically graduated college because I had internships in high school. I had internships in college. I graduated with college. Well, I graduated early from college with about like 5 years technically of experience. And so I wound up like landing a role at Pepsi. And I did like business development for them. I made them a lot of money too. But the problem is, but guess what though? Just because I made them a lot of money, they were also complacent. And this is like what I'm learning too, like even like being in this role as a career consultant, just because you could be a perfect person, but guess what, y'all? I applied for 10 jobs and I didn't get anywhere within Pepsi. So that doesn't mean anything. All I'm going to say is everything that glitters isn't gold. And that's when I realized, I'm like, man, like I'm not getting a lot of support from like HR. It's like, I guess like the one thing is like you have to really just honestly take control of like your own career, your own business, because then everyone's going to have your best interest. And not to say that they didn't, but I wound up finding out like, man, like HR, when your manager's telling you 2 different things, this is the reason why I remain stagnant. And I left DC.
Your manager not gonna keep it real with you.
And the crazy thing is, I left it within like 2 weeks. I went to Atlanta, and I know it's crazy. Like when you hear those stories, like y'all, like it was just crazy. Like it was crazy. But I know that the best advice that my first manager told me at Pepsi, Scott Krupp, like he's awesome. Scott told me, if you want to get somewhere, you had to be relocatable. You have to stick out. You have to go the extra mile. And he even told me, he said this too. He was like, listen, you're a minority. So he's aware of it too. No, but he's just saying that like, hey, like I even like he even said that like, hey, like I recognize that too, just meaning like, hey, you have to go, and it's not right at all. It's not right at all, but I'm happy that at least I had that like
someone to push you.
Right, because you got to be transparent.
To tell you what the deal is.
listen, we have to work 10 times to get half of what they have. So it is
Absolutely.
what it is.
Absolutely.
So it even too, so and it's like what you guys like don't know too is like how much sacrifice even when it goes to a job to stand out. Where I'm here right now, like I had to put in like 70 hours a week. I was working on weekends. I'm trying to really like stand out because I really care. But if you work for a company that
Amber,
doesn't care
we're
about
here on
you,
vacation. This
right?
chick has had 30 meetings since
Right.
we've been here.
Listen. And that's what it's about too. Like, it's like, I want people to learn from like our mistakes so you won't have to make it. Like, save time for yourself. It's like, I'm telling you guys right now, I know what it's like when you literally have to live off of $20 for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I know it's not hard, but the one thing I will say is give it to God. When you have that strong foundation, or strong, even if you like, you may not believe him or not, but that's just like in general. I just think it's really important because it's going to be hard because we know it feels like a job to apply for a job. Like,
Yeah.
get that.
Hello.
Totally get that. And even like for like, I guess like for like this point today, and sorry if I'm rambling, I just get really passionate about this. It's because we're really about to make a difference. And we're really going to share things that people don't know about because people aren't aware of that. You know, we just don't, we may not like just have like that same opportunity. So we're giving it back now because I'm trying to shake some stuff up. That's all.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yo, thank
Shake
I'm
the room.
Shake the room. Yes, pop, smoke. Yeah. I lost my voice too. So
Sorry.
y'all lit in Dallas, bro. Y'all should have sent me the invitation. Y'all was so lit. Jess, now, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pass the mic back to you, Jess, so that you can go ahead and drop these jewels for our audience. Thank you so much. So excited. I'm fortunate to have both of you all here with us today. Y'all are dope. All right, so here we go. Let me put the screen back up here.
I'm gonna go off of your notes.
Here we go. So for your first bullet point that you sent me was some hacks, some resume LinkedIn hacks to land high paying 6-figure jobs.
Okay, and let me tell you, I didn't even know Tiara was gonna be here, and I just threw that LinkedIn on in there, and now we got a whole LinkedIn expert. Okay, yes. So let's get it started. Okay, so let's first start off with some resume hacks. And then also too, I want this to be engaging. So if you guys want to chime in, have any questions or need me to clear anything up, please feel free to do so because I want to be able to support you as best as I can. And I want you guys to be able to apply these things too. These are things that you can like literally implement right away. Okay. So one of the tips that I have, add your location. Make sure your city, state, country, or job posting is reflected on your resume unless it is remote. And the reason for that is because if you don't have a location on your resume, a lot of times when it goes through the applicant tracking system, which is the ATS, it's called ATS, it's the software, the AI technology that they use to screen resumes. And a lot of times when they're using these softwares, it is keyword based. Keywords, you're gonna hear this word a lot from us, okay? Like that's our favorite word. So a lot of times too, if you don't have your location on your application, if you don't have a location listed, your resume is getting tossed because they're looking for someone to fill a specific role in a specific location, okay? So if you don't have that information on there, your chances are off rip automatically reduced, even if you're a prime candidate. Okay. Let me read some of these comments.
And then can I say something too really quickly?
I don't have my glasses on, so that's why I'm close. Yes, Maya, we are definitely gonna come back.
So,
I'm glad you got the kids on here, Maya.
so you know what I will say too? I think at minimum, your resume should have at minimum 50 relevant industry keywords for your role. So if I were you, I would definitely recommend, so start looking up those other job descriptions of like these roles that you're interested in. And you guys should know too of like what are like keywords. So like for me, I'm in business and sales, relationship building, quota, metrics. These are all keywords. So so like if you are like maybe like in like tech or finance, like think about maybe like Tableau, QuickBooks, Excel, communication, creativity. That's why it's so important because you guys want to be noticed. You really do. And if you're thinking, and also too, like if you guys think about your own LinkedIn pages, think about Twitter, where like you only have like 120 characters to stand out.
Right.
To be honest, the whole goal of a resume is literally because I'm sorry, I'm going to take a step back. Recruiters only spend like 6 seconds scanning your resume. So for real, your goal is honestly to keep them staying on your resume. The goal is to keep them staying on your LinkedIn. So that's why you want to have quality content to keep these people like still there. And so when it comes to resume, you want to highlight your accomplishments. You want to highlight something that like, well, honestly, what no one else can say. So yeah, and then also too, like you want to, and I always say quantify if you want to qualify.
Okay,
That's why it's
quantify if you want to qualify.
Think about this too. You guys can also quantify qualitative like information as well. There's so much like, so if you
Do you
think
want to
about
give an
this,
example?
yeah, I can. So let me see. Can you give me like a role? Just give me like a title. Like
Customers,
service
service.
rep.
Maybe sales.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're thinking like in terms of sales, you can like say, well, one you can speak in terms of like, hey, like maybe like X amount of customers you maybe like connect with on a weekly basis. You can quantify that. You can also talk about like, oh, maybe like how many like, or even maybe like how many, I guess like maybe you were able to like reach your quota by like X amount of percentage, or even talk about growth. And also too, if your numbers, right, if they may not be as high, because I was also in a role for like 11 months. I mean, not even like 11 months, only 7 months, like when I was in Atlanta. So what I did was I'm like, hey, like, because I didn't work there, my sales numbers, they weren't as high. So what I did was I took a step back. I said, hey, but I closed like over 300K in 7 weeks. So I kind of have to like spin it because this is all about the story you want to tell.
If you have to adjust your timeline, do that.
And
it's not like we're not telling y'all to lie. We're saying adjust your timeline. So like she was saying, she was only there for 11 months.
Oh no, 7 months.
7 months.
Uh-huh.
But in 7 weeks, she like surpassed X amount of expectations that were set for her. So if you're doing that, even if it's in a short period of time, people want to see that.
Exactly. And again, because it's all about the story about what you want to tell. Because I'm telling you this right now. Me saying, oh, I closed all that in 7 months. It's not a power statement, but if me saying I did it in 7 weeks, again, it's all about how you want to shape it, because it's all about and I would even ask you too, like, hey, like, is your goal, whether it's to get like networking and partnerships, that should clearly reflect it.
And you know what? Because the market is so competitive right now, it's actually like just ridiculous how competitive it is. You really want to make sure that you quantify whatever you can, you know? So if you are in a role, let's say you have helped them increase their revenue by X amount of dollars by X%, or if you help them reduce costs by X amount of whatever, you help them reduce the project completion timeline by X amount of weeks. You know, you have to make sure that you have those in your resume so you can stand out, and have it on your LinkedIn as well, because that's the information that recruiters are going to be looking for, hiring managers are going to be looking for. If you don't have quantifiable impact on your resume, I promise you, they're just gonna toss it. Yeah. And we're saying this because we literally
see it every day.
We are with recruiters from every major company in the world. Our people's is at Facebook, Apple, Amazon, LinkedIn,
Estee Lauder,
the United States government,
Coca-Cola.
They'll all tell you the
Ford,
same thing.
Kia.
Like, I cannot stress this enough. Quantify your impact. Even if you think it's something small, like I said, I was a special education teacher, and for a while, like when I decided I wanted to go to business school, I had to submit a resume, and I wasn't sure like what I should include, because it's like, I'm a special ed teacher, you know, like how can I translate the work that I'm doing into like business, you know, or data, like, but then when you think about it, you do data and everything
all
you do
the time,
every day. I was doing data. I was collecting data on my students every day. So I started quantifying the impact that I was having with my students. Like X% of students exceeded the state standardized test. X% of students You okay? Come on. I see you getting your finger on the trigger, Amber.
Let me tell you, I stay with the numbers.
Yes, stay with the numbers.
I keep my results when my students do well in their exams and stuff. I keep the results, and that's the first thing you see whenever I had to apply to different schools or what have you. That's the first thing you see. 85% of my scholars achieved proficiency on the state exams within you know what I'm saying? They putting that data out there. They're not even, that's what they want to see. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care how, you know, and I'm kind of getting off topic. I'm gonna go back to you guys, but I don't care for those of you guys who are educators and so forth, and that, and when they're saying like, oh, state tests don't matter. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yes, they do.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, it does. That's how these
you
people
gotta throw
get
that
paid.
on your resume.
Recognized. Yes, so I definitely am. The numbers are important.
In fact, like for real, I tell people to have 2 versions of your resume.
Yeah.
Always have a 1-pager for the lazy recruiters, and that's most of them. Let's be real. Most of them are spending, like Tiara said, 6 to 10 seconds on your resume. So if it's too long, if it doesn't have the right keywords, and if it doesn't have the numbers, they're not even gonna bother. So just make sure that those 3 things are intact.
Oh, and also too, now I know that this may sound like obvious, but it's also important for you guys to proofread your resume too. Make sure there are no grammar errors. Again, because guess what? It's just so important for you all to like even like pay attention to detail, because even like that, it could even not to even like say like hey, like you guys are careless, but it just goes to show like you want to make sure that you are ready for this. You want to take care of every opportunity, because everyone.
That was one of my points.
She put that on there. She put that on there. And then also too, and the one thing I will say, because I don't know like who like on this call, I'm pretty sure you guys have different backgrounds. I think it's also important. So maybe like, I think it's important for everyone to have a portfolio, because like the reason why, as far as like with your portfolio, this is kind of like for me, you could go a little bit deeper. And I think that this would be like something that you guys could stand out. You could post it on your LinkedIn in the feature section, and also too like start utilizing the feature section on LinkedIn. Because
can you say a little more about that?
Yeah,
this is super important.
So what I'm gonna say is, and what's interesting, like the feature section on LinkedIn, this used to actually be the last item on the bottom, of your page, and we actually put it up to be at like eye level. And what's great is that you guys can highlight whether you've been I guess like whether like you can highlight like your like courses,
if you can highlight featured in an article, if you wrote an article,
if you have a website. If you want to like talk about the community work that you're doing, you can include videos.
If you have a portfolio,
you can include your elevator pitch in that. You want to find ways for what you guys can do to really just stand out. And the one thing I will say is with LinkedIn, this is literally, you have 20 honestly opportunities alone on your personal page to stand out. So what are you going to do, really to optimize it?
I'm obsessed with LinkedIn.
From your banner, your professional headshot. It's also important for you guys to also smile, because online, it shows that you're a little bit warmer to reach out to. Again, it's like, I want you guys to take a look, just take every opportunity with what you guys can do. Also too, you can join groups on LinkedIn of similar interests. It's also going to be important for you to follow company pages, because guess what? My recruiters use these same filters, meaning like I actually work with they source for other tech companies. They literally only find candidates that follow their company page. I know it sounds crazy, but again, it's like you want to take that extra step. Another one that I will also say is you want to start collecting recommendations, because that's going to help build your credibility.
Yes.
So if I didn't know Jess, I can endorse her for organization, community work. I can do all this, but I don't know her skills. So it's going to be important for you guys to gather that for whether it's previous managers, co-workers, it doesn't matter. But I will also stress to make it diverse too. Women, men, young, old.
And I will say something about recommendations. If you start giving people recommendations, you're more likely to get them. So the way I started getting some recommendations was like the people that I worked with in the past, people that I have had projects with, people that I've done projects for that I supported. I started giving them recommendations like, this person is great at X, Y, and Z. They had X amount of impact, this and that. And then you know what? Then they started coming in too. So you give and you get.
Yeah, I like that. You give and you get. I like that. Yeah.
Jess, there's a question in the chat box by Nikki.
Oh, awesome.
She
Sorry,
said,
y'all. I told you I can't see, so I'm closing. It says,
She said, can you repeat the 3 things employers look for in a resume?
yes, okay, so quantify is very important. Make sure you have numbers in there that are going to reflect the effect that you had on your role or in your previous roles.
Mhm.
Add your skills and then have keywords. Keywords are going to really set it off for you on your resume and on your LinkedIn, because the ATS software is looking for those keywords on the resume side. And then on the LinkedIn side, the recruiters are looking for those keywords as well.
And then also too, to just add on to that, I would say, and also show that you are a leader. So if you've been recognized for your work, I don't care if you're an employee of the hour. It doesn't matter.
Not the
Put
hour.
on your resume, okay? Put on your and the one thing I will say too, so like just give me your opinion, because sometimes, right, you guys may see like these like resume auto generators. Are these like acceptable in like the ATS system?
No, I'm sorry, but no.
Okay, so like
They
so let's
usually-
just take a pause, because I know a lot of times I even had one too at one point. I had like a resume like generator and all that too. And what Jess just said is like, no, it's not ATS friendly. So I would recommend not even like including that. Okay.
Oh, and here's another hack too. They're really not ATS friendly for referral. And ATS, like I said, is the AI software that your resume is gonna go through, and it's literally straight algorithmic. Like there's not like they don't care who you are. They don't care who your daddy is, who your mama is, what you did. If your resume is not what they're looking for, it's getting tossed. Okay. So make sure that your format is on point. Like, don't be extra, save the pictures, save the extra lines and all of that stuff. Keep it cute or keep it on mute. Save the drama for your mama, because the ATS doesn't want to hear it. Okay. Like, you will not hear back. I'm sorry to say.
I had no idea, right? And I wonder, you guys can share in the chat box if you knew this. I'm thinking that there was like some type of recruiter, right, that looked through the resume. So I had no idea that when you are applying for these jobs, right, that they're using the AI software to determine whether or not your resume is even going to push through.
Yeah, exactly.
So
everything is AI now.
That's very had no idea.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So,
it's crazy because you want it to be like a human on the other side, like really, because resumes take a long time to do. You have to really sit down and think about it. And then like you don't also like, it's really not recommended that you use the same resume or the same cover letter for every job, because if you apply into different roles, things are going to change. Those keywords are going to change, the role is going to change, so you have to be very careful with that.
Yeah, I 100% agree on that too. So I have like friends that are in tech, they're interested in program management, product management,
customer success.
Right. And so I recommend you should have a resume for each of them. And, and to be honest, everyone can even create like a Google Doc form, put all the information in, and literally you can just like kind of like copy like whatever's relevant. So that's why it's important for you guys to take a look, like read that job description to make sure that like you are honestly like, yeah, like you do meet these qualifications, because a lot of times, like if you don't qualify, of course, you may not.
Yeah.
Like you may not. And the one thing I will say too is like, even in general, when it comes to like applying for jobs, as I mentioned before, applying for jobs is not enough. You need to also network. Take that opportunity to do that. You need to have a strong resume, but you need to also research to make sure the hiring demand. Listen, Google and LinkedIn, okay, like these are going to be like honestly like some of your best friends, because information is there. It's really up to you guys honestly to just take that time to use it. And this is like why we're sharing this information now, because we want to make sure that you guys are aware, so you guys can really see like success, because West, not only with Sasha, we want you guys to get paid regardless. Okay. Right. And so whether you're looking for a job, expanding your business, like Sasha, it doesn't matter. Always think about your brand. It's so important, because you're honestly like a living portfolio in this sense.
Come on,
Yes.
All right. So are there any more, before we go on to the next one, are there any more hacks that you think our audience need to know in order to land that high-paying six-figure job?
Okay, let me make sure. I think let me see. Okay, I'm gonna like check, because I have like a mental note too to make sure.
So
You know what? I do have something. So I would even say like take a look at like some of like your action words on your resumes too. So
Yeah,
when we're
that's a
thinking
good
about
point.
that, and again, like you can do like a search. I know we have some resources too.
Some people call them power words.
Yeah, like power words. Okay, so like what that is. So like whether and so instead of saying like, oh, like I
put together a proposal.
put together, I would say, oh, I directed.
Right.
I led. You want to
Hype
have
yourself.
Exactly. and then also to make sure if it's in the past, you keep it in past tense.
Yes.
I see resumes all the time and I'm like, from like 1999, the experience and it's in present tense. I'm like, come on now. We can't have that. It's interesting too. Like I have a cousin, she works in HR. She said that they can be like very, they can be really like really sticklers for that. You don't want to give them any opportunity to take it away from you.
Right.
Don't give them that. So you want to make sure you proofread, make sure it's clean, make sure it stands out. You want to make sure that they can understand the impact of what you have on your current role. It's like you honestly want to make it seem like, hey, like they want to get that impact too. They want to get that impact too. Like that's what should be conveyed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Moving on to the next one.
Yes.
Negotiation strategies when you get the offer to boost your package. So first of all, what package are you referring to?
Yeah, so like think about when you get a new job, right? And you are trying to figure out what salary you want to get. Like you don't have to accept the number they give you. So that's what we talk about.
Yeah.
You don't have to accept the number they give you. You have leverage because the fact that they are giving you an offer shows that they want you. They want you in their company. They see value in you. They want whatever knowledge or resources that you can provide because they see that you can contribute to the company. The number that they give you is not what you're worth.
And the one thing I will say is honestly, and I want you guys to think in terms of
wait, real quick. Hold on real quick. Can you just run that back real quick? Hold on. I want you to run it back. The number
that they give you is not what you're worth. Okay.
Ooh, did y'all hear that?
So here's what I'll say. Because
can I tell you guys something? I learned that this is ridiculous, but I learned this from Percy Miller, you know, the No Limit Soldier. No Limit Soldier. Okay, Lil Romeo's daddy. Okay. We in New Orleans. I learned this from Lil Romeo's daddy because when he started No Limits, okay, the big people, they tried to buy No Limit from him for, I think he said it was $1 million, but he had a conversation with himself, thinking about how much he had built this company, how much he had built this brand, how much he built a following, and they offering him $1 million. So he asked himself, if they're offering me $1 million, what am I really worth?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
And so the one thing I will say, like,
this section, I want Tiara to actually lead this because she has a lot of experience in negotiations. And then I'm gonna tap, and I got some notes too, but this your girl for negotiation.
So listen, the one thing I will say is I encourage everyone to just change your even like perspective of like when it comes to, because like I love what just said. What I would say is when I look at that figure, I look at it in terms of like, well, how hard, like how much is it? I mean, how much is it going to cost to replace me, basically? That's what I look at. And so when we're looking at like, when it comes to, it's crazy. I just did an Instagram posting this a couple weeks ago.
Oh, good.
I actually said like, hey, it's important for you to demonstrate your unique value. So it's important for you guys to know your elevator pitch. So you need to know like within like, within like 30 seconds, again, like what impacts, and you should be quantifying it. Literally, it's like kind of like what we're saying, know those key words. What can you do to really convey that impact? Because guess what? If just ask me, oh, I want to make 200K as a base, I'm gonna ask her, why? Why you want me to do that with my money? Okay, like as an employer, okay? So that's why it's important. And then also too, it's important for you guys to research your salary range for the role, specifically in that area, as well as within the company. So you have like things like Glassdoor, like there's like a few that from like for you to research. And then also too, I get like, and it's like sometimes when it comes to like salary negotiations, what I do with my clients, we also practice to having a conversation. And I'm really not saying rude to them. I tell them no each time because I want you to get comfortable. Because when it says no, you need to think of like, okay, next opportunity.
What else?
Next opportunity. That's what I see when I hear no. Like basically, okay. But yeah, so like that's important. And then also too, you want to make sure where you are, because when you do your counter offer, we're only going to pick from the top. That's it. That's why it's so important for you guys to do your research, because a lot of times when people go in there blindly, not knowing that figure, a lot of times we always say we want that lower figure. And guess what? Your employers, they're not going to tell you, I mean, like, oh no, we're going to pay her more, like that. They're not going to give that to you. So that's why it's important for you to do your own due diligence to do that research. Because guess what too, like, and if you think about it too, like whether it's nonprofit, all of it's a business, like all of it is. So that's why it's important. And then also too, you want to, as I mentioned before, you want to practice having the conversation. It's like, I want you guys to go in there confidently. Go in there. Like, you should be, honestly, at minimum, maybe practice this 100 times. Like, I know, again, it sounds crazy. You should be able to have this effortlessly to convey your elevator pitch. And then that's why I said it's even important even to have your portfolio. You see, literally everything is all connected, because with your portfolio, you can really showcase your value. And I think a great way with portfolios is you can get creative with it. The portfolio is just going to give you maybe to show more of like your efforts versus a resume, because with resumes, resumes shouldn't be 10 pages long. You have like maybe like 1 to 2, really to.
It better not be 10 pages.
Well, right. And then as just mentioned before, never
Oh, that's a great question, Adelaide. Yes.
like never accept the first offer.
Can we take this question real quick?
Yeah,
Adelaide said, what are the best resources to research salaries?
Yeah, okay. So like I know like this is interesting, because when I did like my own research, so when I was at Pepsi, when I did it, I would look up like stuff within like the consumer goods like industry. So I joined like different like organizations that would like provide that information. So I know you have like Glassdoor. And what I'll do is let me bring up my own laptop. Hold on, let me run it.
Yeah, so while you do that, you could use Adelaide Glassdoor, LinkedIn, Comparably, Indeed, and PayScale. I'm gonna type them in the chat for you.
Hold on.
But those are all really good ones that I use as well.
And then also too, like the one thing I will say, I think it could also be important is if you even like know anyone at that company, you can connect with them to make sure like, hey, like, is this also?
I would ask too, if you know someone, like if you have a close friend that works at a company you want to work at, I would ask them too, because sometimes the thing about these platforms online, people lie. Okay.
Yeah. So there's another one that's called, I'm sorry. So there's a research. So this is like the one that my uncle uses. It's called levels.fyi. So that could be like one that you guys can use, but it has like a ton of so like that includes like a lot of like industries right there. There's also Salary List.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah. So that's why and then Salary Expert. That's another one too that you guys can take a look at. Now, one thing I will say, because I know depending on again like your background, don't forget to look at like the Burrow too.
Yeah.
Of like labor stats. You could take a look at that too.
The BLS.
Yeah. So this is good.
And then while you look up what you're doing, let me just add a few more tips. Know your number, have a walkaway number. And so that's usually like between your minimum, like the bare absolute minimum you will accept for the role, and your ideal number, which is like your dream number. Ask for an exact number that's between that range. Okay. So don't settle for nothing that's below that range. If you want to get if you're getting an offer, don't settle for a salary that you're not gonna be able to live off of.
And don't forget, so even before you even have this conversation, even like before you even get to that point, even for when the beginning, when they ask you, oh, how much are you currently getting paid? It would behoove you to say a higher number. Come entering. It would behoove you, okay? It would behoove you.
Duh, right?
Right, because even if you think about that too, it's like you want to make sure that you are also consistent. You want to make sure, and also too, like who doesn't want to earn a little bit higher? Come on now. I'm just telling you what was given to me.
Let them make the first offer.
Listen, I'm so mad. I'm glad you said that, because at the last job that I had, they asked me how much was I making, and I gave them the real number. I should have been like, no,
a little bit
$100,000.
It don't even change.
At minimum, 20% higher. At minimum. But my
They don't
cousin,
even
I was making $500,000.
no. Listen. So here's something crazy. My cousin, this man always lies about his side. I love my cousin, but what he did was, but it worked out for him. He wound up getting, this man wound up making, he went from like 60 to like 200K as a base.
What?
Like, from saying that.
Okay, we're not telling y'all to lie.
To convey his value.
Don't lie.
To convey his value.
But know your worth.
Right. But because he's in IT and he's tired of getting lowball. And I told my cousin, we gotta take a step back. So I said, hey, if you need to go, I guess like go back for more search. Like again, like just like understand too, it's always good to always, I guess I can always continue.
What Maya Angelou say, when they go low, we go high.
Yes, I love that. But yeah. But also too, it's like you have to create that portfolio. It's like the information I'm giving you is like, it's literally information about like, I've learned from my own research I've done and just that. Like I applied to 500 jobs in 1 month before. That's how fed up I was. But I had to also understand too, at the time, like I just understood like God is very intentional, like He is, and so you have to also like make sure it's okay to have patience too. It's just I just want you guys to understand too, like everything happens for a reason. So if you are getting roadblocks, understand and make sure too, like if you are like going through like the job process, ask for feedback if you don't get that interview because that can make you a better prospect for another company. So don't forget that. I know we're kind of like going back and forth, but it's like a lot of information. We want to make sure you guys can take away. So.
Thank you. I'm going to share a comment that was just shared in the chat box. By Diddy. She said her illustration teacher taught her to negotiate her salary in college, and she said it always worked for her. Absolutely, Lily.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Come on, illustration teacher. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And you know what? That's amazing because these are the skills that they really don't teach people.
Yeah.
And like we've had to, figure it out from trial and error. But I don't want that for you guys. I don't want that for you guys or the kids or the next generation.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be that difficult.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, and then also too, so like just so you guys know, when you are like searching for these opportunities, when you are applying for a job, and not just on LinkedIn, you have Indeed. You can also like make sure you add filters where it has like under 10 applicants recently posted. You want to find ways for you to stand out. And I don't know about you, I can stand out.
I have a question. Is anyone actively looking for a job right now?
Yeah, put that in the chat box.
If you're actively looking for a job, put it in the chat, okay? Because we're going to really give you the tea. But let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, so
so before you go on, the one thing I will say is don't wait until you're like over your job to apply for a job. I would say when you start to kind of feel like, it's kind of like you're kind of like plateauing, like you're okay. I think that would be a great time because when that time happens, when you are done, you are going to have resources available.
And then you're not operating in a state of desperation.
So exactly. You're not going to react reactively. You're going to think ahead of that. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great
get ahead of it.
advice.
Get ahead of it.
And then I just got like a few more tips, just like 1 or 2 more.
Yes, ma'am.
Let them make. Sorry, my voice is just. This is why I have to.
I can read it off. I can read it off. Let me read it off. You need to preserve your voice.
I'm sorry, Amber.
Is it for which one?
Let them make the first offer.
Oh yes. Okay. So it says, hey, like, let them make the first offer. And the one thing I will say is when you're having these conversations, if they ask you, hey, what's your figure? Don't even give them a figure. Do not give them a figure yet. You can even ask them, hey, what's the typical range for this role at your company?
Give them a range.
You can put it back on them, and that way you can also know. That could like also be like a key insight.
Give them a range, but they give you a hard number. You never give them a hard number.
Exactly. Always throw it back on them. Because and also like too, I forgot like what the stat was. I don't remember if it was I'm trying to remember, but like basically I remember I was like told a story where in the beginning, right? If you guys are applying for a role, and it was like a case study that was done between 2 people. So it was like one guy that negotiated his salary, and another guy, it was like a $5,000 difference.
Oh, right.
They like stayed in their like stayed at like
same career trajectory,
but over time. So it was like within like 20 years, it was like it was a big difference. Like I'm talking about as far as in the end, because if you think about it too, like sometimes when people get promoted, they may take like, like salary.
They take your base into consideration.
Exactly.
So over the course of an entire career, you could be losing out on like $1 million because you did not negotiate your base.
And it's crazy because off of a $5K difference. you can lose out on so much. So that's why we don't want that for you guys at all.
Nope.
And again, and even too, so even if they can, I guess like even if they can't even offer you money, you can negotiate in other ways, or there could be equity within the company.
Period. Yes.
Mm.
That's what we're getting into next.
Oh,
yes.
stocks. Yes. Oh, you see how this is like integrated with stocks?
Okay.
Because that
love
could be an
it.
opportunity too. Like, or it could be like resources. Again, you can negotiate
health,
anything and everything.
health benefits.
Exactly.
Time off.
PTO. Exactly. Like, again, think about the big picture, because when you're interviewing for roles, I'm sorry, these employees aren't just interviewing them, you're interviewing them too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think a lot of times don't think about this one side. You need to start thinking about this like, hey, like you want to talk to me. It's okay. Like, like, hey, so like if we're going to talk, like make sure it's, both valuable of our time.
Think about it as a relationship. They're getting to know you. They want to know if you're going to add value, and you want to know if they're going to add value
Hello
too.
now.
What can you do for them, but what can they do for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for that. And with that, I love it, y'all. I love it. And that, it's a perfect segue because just after you and Tiara shared the last strategy that individuals can use to optimize, their jobs, then we went straight into Will, who also, he should be on the morning team with us, but he'd be busy and stuff.
Come on, Will, join us.
But he's going to share, some insight in terms of stocks and stuff. So y'all are dropping some serious jewels, some serious jewels. All right. So here we go, Jess. Leveraging your
All right, let's take it home.
Let's take it home for
I like this
crowd.
question.
Let me get
Let's take
mine
it home for the crowd.
Yes.
I see what you did there, Amber. I see what you did, girl.
And mind you, I framed my notes off of your notes. So you really helped me out by putting this together. So shout out to you for that. So yeah, leveraging your job to make investments. I would say if your company has the option to get stocks or options contracts and get a piece of the company, you better do it, because if you don't, you're only hurting yourself. Like, first of all, I watch stock videos all day long. I was just this morning watching a video.
She did. she did watch, y'all. She did, y'all. She did. So
sorry. Tiara be trying to sleep, and I'm over here like options contracts. But anyway, this guy on this video I was watching was saying that he exercised contracts from his job for $900,000 when he was leaving his job. Okay. This is the type of money that's out there. These companies have the money, and if you're not asking for it, they're not going to give it to you. So a lot of times, some companies, like, they will give it to you, like, the Fortune 500s, like, they'll give you most of them stock options after being vested for a certain amount of time. So vesting is essentially like, you have worked at the company for X amount of years. You have proven to them that you deserve to be there. You have proven to them that you are adding value to the company. Now they want to give back to you and keep you here so that another company doesn't come and steal you away. Because once you vested, you could take your options contracts at any moment and dip. Okay. So that's why, like, they have these periods. So some companies it's like 2 years, some companies is 5 years, so you just have to make sure on the front end, how long that you will have to remain within the organization to be able to have access to your options. So like I said, just make sure if your company has that as an option that you take advantage of it, because if you don't, you're leaving money on the table.
Okay, and if you can clarify what they're looking for in terms of, like, when they're going to the business and they're being presented with this package, what are they specifically looking for that like the benefits in terms of stocks? What does that look like? Are they looking for like an IRA package, retirement package, stocks in general? Is it going to be like both things? Like, you can have these stocks in these companies. Like, what are they actually looking for to seize the opportunity of leveraging that to
Yeah,
generate that
That's a
wealth?
good question. You could get, it depends on the company. So I know when I worked at Amazon, they gave me options that were rolled into my IRA. So my retirement plan with them had investments. I had an investment portfolio with Fidelity. And so when I left the company, I would be able to, cash out or exercise some of my options and get some shares of Amazon into my bank account. You know what I'm saying? And like, you got to really think about this. This is a company that is worth $3,000 per share. So that is a valuable thing that these companies do for you. So sometimes, like I was saying, so when you think about options, when you get an options contract, that is saying that you are getting 100 shares of a company. Each contract is 100 shares. So if a company is giving you like 5 contracts or 15 contracts, 20 contracts, multiply that by 100, and that's how many shares of the company that you get. So people that's working at like Amazon and Boeing and like Microsoft, like when they are fully vested and decide to leave their company, those people are going to be good, okay? If they choose to exercise those contracts. And then the thing is too, make sure that your company gives you a timeline, that you know the timeline, because sometimes you have to exercise your contract by a certain time, or it will expire and you will lose it. So you don't want that to happen. So if you plan on leaving your job and you know that you have money invested, you have they have invested money for you, and you have options with them, you have to ask your HR people, what is the timeline to exercise your contract so you could get your money? Because if you don't, you're gonna lose that. I'm gonna go over some notes that I have on this as well. I'm losing my voice.
So the one thing I will say too,
Yeah.
like, to give you a little bit of a break, just make sure you guys are reading and like know like the contract you are signing for work, because I know sometimes jobs, they may have little like stipulations. So like if they are like giving you like money, and also like meaning if they're investing in your education, you may have to work there another year. So make sure you're aware of that, because sometimes companies, you may have to owe that money back.
There's always a price.
Right, exactly. So make sure you're doing, make sure you guys read.
Yeah, because here's the thing, like I know someone that got a bonus at their job. Well, they got a signing bonus, but what they didn't know is that the signing bonus had conditions, and they had to stay there for 3 months. They stayed there for 2 months. And when they left that company, they had to pay the company that bonus back. Okay, so just like Ciara said, make sure that you're reading those conditions. You want to add?
No, you really covered a lot. I mean, I know that you just said like make sure like I guess like you can like put in like the max, like you can match within your 401k. I know like that's like a lot of like easy money that she said like that's on the table. I know with like a lot of companies, like even for like 6%, match it out, because yourself 30 years from now will thank you. Your future self will thank you later.
And your kids and your grandkids, yes.
Yeah.
Just really quick, you said max out the 401k.
Yes, max it out if you can. Like if you can, meaning like you can still like afford your bills, get to that number. I mean, I would even say as high as you can.
Absolutely.
As high as you can.
I co-sign that.
It's crazy that you said that, because at the last organization that I worked for, I saw that they matched it. Like sometimes the amount that they match is depending on how much you put in, right?
Right.
And so I saw that if I put in this amount, that they would match it.
It will increase, right?
And it made a difference. So it's crazy that you all are sharing these things, because I was just like, I didn't even think to share this with the audience, right? Like, I just did it. But these are like different things or different hacks that can help you leverage your job to make those investments. And that's what I've been able to do for my first 2 houses. I was
able. Come on. I was just telling her, like, Amber is out here doing it.
Come on, the house. Then
for the first equity houses.
What Beyonce say, pay me in equity. Watch me reverse out of that.
Yes.
Listen, I don't play when it comes. I do not play, especially if you, because like I like to tell people that investing is a lifestyle, right? And so I would have to be honest with myself. And I saw, even though I like to like come off of the smart financial person or what have you, I also saw that I was wasting a lot of money going out to eat with my friends every day, happy hour, going to buy clothes, wasting gas money and stuff like that. So I saw that I was really wasting a lot of money. And so when I calculated the extra expenses, unnecessary expenses that I had, I literally put all of that into my retirement account, and my company was able to match it to a certain, to a certain extent. As a result, when it was time for me to make these moves, I was literally able to take that money out to invest in the homes that we have. And a lot of the money that I have acquired have went into the homes, and we've done other things since then. Like me and my husband, like we've done other things as well, in terms of like using creative way of financing to, get the other homes.
Girl, that's a whole other conversation.
That is a whole nother conversation, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you all that it was because I leveraged, these opportunities that these jobs offer in order to make my first purchase and second purchase on the home. So do y'all have anything else y'all want to drop before we move on to Will and AV?
Yeah, let me just go back and see if anything else is in the notes.
No, I don't have any more. This is so great what you're doing, Amber. This is so
awesome. Thank you.
No,
thank you. You ladies are always welcome to come back.
If you really want to be bold, you can ask for retroactive vesting. If you really like retroactive vesting. Yes.
Ooh.
That's a thing. If you really feeling yourself. Per, okay? If you are feeling yourself, you can ask for retroactive vesting. So let me tell you guys, you deserve, first of all, okay? Vesting protects the company, as you know, from just people showing up, cashing out on these options and leaving. So that the reason that they have these timelines is not because they don't value you or they want to be mean, but these are billion-dollar corporations. These are billion-dollar nonprofits or multi-million-dollar organizations. You know what I'm saying? They want to protect themselves as much as possible. That's why they set these periods. So, any average Joe can't just walk in and get 500,000 shares and then leave, because people would do that. Like, come on, people would do that. I might do that too if that was a thing. Okay. But the thing is, your vesting typically begins when you get through your options. You can start exercising and stuff when you get through your vesting period. However, depending on how much value you have added to the company, and if you can quantify that, like we talked about, if you can prove that and show these people, these are my numbers, this is what I'm doing, you can make an argument for yourself that you have earned retroactive vesting, because you have proven to the company that you can add value to them. You have proven to the company that you are loyal. You have proven to the company that you can bring them money. You can bring them clients or whatever it is that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You have proven your worth to the company, and they need to reward you for that if they want you to stay. Now, I would recommend you use this strategy if you have other offers.
Yes.
If you have other offers, you better tell these people, okay? Because if you are doing your thing at your job, and Amber, I know you a founding member of a school, so I know you know this. I'm sure your DMs on LinkedIn be all the time. People like, hey, Amber, do you want to come work at our school? Because when I was in education, I used to stay with that, okay? So that goes back to leveraging your job. It's easier to get a job when you have a job, okay? So if you do choose to leave, then that would be leverage that you can take to your next company. But if you don't leave, you can also tell your current company, hey, these other people is checking for me too. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I think we about covered everything.
Yeah.
I want to give you all a round of applause. Everyone in the audience, y'all can throw some JT in the chat box.
Yes, JT! Come on, city girls! JK.
Oh no, we can't be like them.
We're not like them, no.
Rocky right
We're not
now.
like them, no.
Right.
JT in the chat box, y'all. Show them some love, yo.
Oh, you guys!
Through.
Also, too, like, feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, we ain't even tell people what we do.
Right, we did. I really did. We did.
Okay, so I have a company. I provide people support with LinkedIn, resumes, interview strategy. Check out my website, resumebadge.com. And I have an ebook on Amazon. It's called Landing Your Dream Job with LinkedIn. And it has templates and scripts and literally walks you step by step on how to prepare your LinkedIn profile. It's not gonna kill your pockets. It's $5.99. So if you want to support your girl,
Yes,
matter of
ma'am.
fact, I'm gonna send the link to Amber so she can drop it in the chat. I'm just saying.
That's a birthday gift for the birthday girl. Come on now.
Yeah, go ahead and purchase that book. And it's only $5.99.
Right.
$5.99, yeah.
Go ahead and support
that's
Jessica.
good.
Straight up. That's hot. Jess, that's hot. That is so hot.
Thank you.
Send it to me.
Will do. What about you? What do you do?
Okay, so I know I'll share with you guys by day. I work at LinkedIn, I work with like a ton of staffing firms, but my life, I am also a career consultant. So when it comes to your profile revamps, salary negotiations, interview prep, your portfolio creations, this is what I'm here for. And I'm also a business consultant too. So I'm career and business consultant together.
Now y'all better stop playing with them. Stop
Even
playing.
like for my goal this
Listen,
year,
Jess,
like my
you
goal is
have
to get to 100 offers. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh no, I said like my goal.
Amber, for your
Yes.
entrepreneurs, you need to have Tiara come and do her own segment on this show because she gonna teach y'all how to make money on LinkedIn for your business. Like for real, this is what she do.
I would love to. I would love to.
On the business side.
Yeah, because it is very different how you brand yourself from that.
And it's crazy because LinkedIn is the fastest growing professional network on the planet. There's 800 million people on LinkedIn?
There's and there's 700, like from like the US alone. Like,
wow.
Like US, Canada.
But a lot of people just think it's a job search platform.
It's more than that. It's more than that. And I know and of course it kind of like has that stigma. It kind of has that stigma, but I would say don't be afraid to be yourself. Like legit, be yourself on the platform. So you can also share things that interest you. Like I know for me, I like to talk about cupcakes and my puppy waffles.
Yes. Oh my God, waffles.
I'm a multi-poo, and guess what? I actually created a LinkedIn story with him. Meaning did you negotiate your salary?
Yeah.
And then had him smiling. So yeah. It's also to again.
Okay, yes, Maya wants to do something for the entrepreneurs now. Come on, Maya.
Listen, Tiara, we definitely have to connect off because I actually do a class on Sundays called Get Into the Bag, right? And I would love for you to come through and just tomorrow's our last day. So I'm gonna connect with you either tonight or just to come through and share whatever needs to be shared for this class. Because I even have a person that's on here that attends a class tomorrow.
Yeah, listen, I would love it because even when it comes to you doing your outreach versus looking for a job versus looking for for what you want, it's gonna be very different when you are sending your messages. Very different. So yeah, I would love to.
Jess, can you put your link inside of the chat box? Yes. Are you able to do that? Because I'm gonna have to email it to myself because the computer that I'm using isn't connected to my.
I can do that.
And then
also drop both you all drop your IG and stuff like that so that people can know how they can connect with you. Will, are you still on the line?
How do I copy this?
I'm here, Amber.
Okay.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yes.
A lot of gems being dropped. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We really
thank you. Thank you so much. So hopefully it dropped. If not, then I'll just put it in the
I'll just put it now.
Okay. Last thing, if you all want a recording, because a couple of people are reaching out to me on the back end, they're like, can you send a recording? Can you do this and the other? Y'all know that the only way to get these recordings is to hit us up on the back end on Band app. So Will, if you could drop that link for the Band app, it's free. It's not a gimmick or anything. It just makes it easier for us to keep up with everything. So if you definitely want a recording of today, because there was a lot of things that was said. I know a lot of us are in the season of trying to get more money, whether it's through the business or your jobs, and they shared some huge tips on how to use what's currently out there, free resources, and how to manipulate, your resume and so forth to get to the bag. So I'm not biased. Y'all can get to the bag however you want to get to, whether it's through stocks, real estate, entrepreneurship, or your jobs. There's several ways of doing it. And even me, I'm thinking like, okay, if I decide to work at another company, I'd rather go for the company that can offer stocks, right?
Right.
So another way of-
I was
Hello.
about to say
Hello
that.
now.
yeah, let me go try to get something done with Amazon.
I was just about to say,
Okay.
no,
But them
that
stocks,
Amazon
though.
stock is unreal.
It's ridiculous.
It's unreal. Like it's
No, for real. They just shared a whole nother strategy in terms of what to look for and how to leverage these jobs to get to the bag. So ladies, I want to thank you all both for being here with us. I would definitely make sure that I send a follow-up email to everybody that's been here in terms of how to connect with you. You guys, Jess definitely just dropped the link to her book. I'm going to be purchasing the book. So make sure you guys support her. And
yes.
We're gonna send our LinkedIn and our Instagram and stuff so you guys can connect with us too after this.
Mhm.
I'm just
absolutely.
creating a note. But yeah, we're gonna go on mute and thank you so much. And Will, looking forward
Hey.
to you dropping some gems.
Yes. Thank you
Yes.
for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be here on mute.
Oh, nice. Yo, Amber, thank you and Jess and Thierry, thank you for all that. Yo, I learned so much.
Bro, you
Son.
guys gotta talk on the back end. And you know, I've been on hiatus for like 3 weeks. So, I had to come back and like, you know what I'm saying, with the bang and stuff. So absolutely, bro, like absolutely.
That was definitely a grand slam. And definitely like, and I've been talking to you about, I got to plug my computer in, talking to you about how I've been using LinkedIn. Actually, remember, for more of the B2B, right? For my own organization. I definitely got to link with Tiara to do that. I just posted something, but I can use definitely.
You better tap in with Tiara,
I know.
Will.
That's what I'm saying. That's why she's speaking my language right now.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
That's a love language right there. That's a love language. Going down. Yes.
Yeah.
I be trying to tell y'all, man.
So yes, I gotta get that going, especially with LinkedIn. So I'm excited. Oh yeah, thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna give
All
you. I
right.
think you can share your screen.
Yeah, let me just give me 1 second. I might need to plug in quick.
And I just want to say, while he's sharing, I definitely love Jessica's and Tiara's energy as well. I'm for it.
Oh yes! Oh my God, we are like this 24/7. We a lot.
are.
People can't handle us, but thank you.
I am for it.
I knew it was gonna be lit, Amber. Shout out to you. She did.
Listen, I'm for it. I'm all about it, and I think we're also changing the narrative that you have to behave a certain way in order.
Right. Okay. Come on, ratchet assets.
All right. Let them know. God can get themselves and still get to the bag, bro. And if they can accept you for who you are, then deuces. That's what it's about. Straight up.
I love it. All right, so I'm gonna dive in. All right, Amber.
Yes, absolutely. You got it.
All right, cool. So, of course, Amber, thank you for being back. I won't take up too much people's time. I don't know about you guys, but when I get a lot of great information all at one time, like I can't really take it too much at one time. So it's definitely hard to follow that. Tiara and Jessica definitely killed it. So I'm gonna keep it brief today. I'm just gonna talk about why Facebook. For those of you guys that have been, or guys and gals that have been on the platform for a while and have been following us and listening to us, we've been talking about Facebook for forever, right? I've been talking about it. Amber, you can back me up here. I've been talking about Facebook and financials forever. And look what popped up on my my front door this morning, right? So the value inside Facebook. And I'm like, maybe someone's on our calls and has been listening. Maybe someone's tapping the phones. I don't know what it is, but we've been talking about Facebook for a long time. And they brought up some good points, but I'm going to bring up some other points too. So just to start, our content is intended to be used and must be used for information, education, entertainment purposes only. Okay, for not a financial advisor, that's what AB's for, and he's definitely going to close it out next. Very important to do your own research and analysis. Just because I'm a big fan of Facebook doesn't mean you have to be. Okay. A little bit for people that don't know who I am. I'm the founder and executive director of an organization called Project Grow. It's a non-for-profit. Our deal is to get kids invested in the stock market and to get them really financially literate. So we've helped over 65 kids get brokerage accounts. Here are some of our partners and people we've worked with before. And the goal is to get cash in these kids' hands, have them trade, have them invest, and to get them going as early as possible. All right, so let's jump in. Why Facebook? All right, number one, it's cheap compared to its peers. So one of the things that's important that a lot of investors don't necessarily look at, or people that are new to trading and investing look at, is the value of the market. So for instance, like if you go to McDonald's, you know, okay, a Big Mac meal is $10. And you're like, okay, cool. Like I know that that's not a lot of money. But if you went the next day and it was $100, you'd be like, oh my God, like that's super expensive. Like this Big Mac should not cost that much. The price of it is not, that's not the true value of this Big Mac, okay? But a lot of times when you're buying stocks, a lot of people don't necessarily know the value of stuff, especially when you can buy fractional shares. So for instance, they may look at a company and the company may be, you know, $3,000 per share, may have a market cap or a size of like, you know, 2 trillion or something, or 1 trillion. And they'll look and they'll say, oh, wow, okay, I'll pay for that. I'll pay for that stock, or I'll buy that stock because I use it all the time, or it's popular or something like that, without necessarily knowing, oh, wow, this is actually extremely expensive, or this is extremely cheap. So one of the ways that you can do that is using something called a price to earnings ratio. All right. So I won't dive in too deep, but you'll see this price to earnings ratio almost everywhere. So if I go to Google, for instance, right, and I look up, let's say, I'll just type in Facebook. So you look in Facebook stock. Okay, you look at this thing called price to earnings ratio. So this is the price relative to the earnings. When you buy a stock, you're really buying it with the price relative to how much money it makes. You don't want to buy a company unless it makes money. So you want to make sure that the price is relative to how much it earns. The higher the price relative to its earnings, or the higher the PE ratio, the more expensive the stock is. The lower the PE ratio, the cheaper the stock is. The lower the price is relative to its earnings, okay? So you want to look for stocks with lower PEs. So Facebook here is at like a PE of 29. Its price is 29 times how much it earns per year. If you want to compare it to a stock like Amazon, okay, Amazon stock is 75 times the price of its earnings. If you want to look at a stock like Tesla, this one's going to blow your mind. Tesla is priced at over 1,000 times the amount of money it earns. Okay, so when you're looking at companies, it's important to look at how much the stock is or valued at compared to how much it actually earns. All right, so that's important. So Facebook is cheap compared to its peers. You compare its peer to Google, which is a 37 PE. Facebook's around 29. If you look at historical books, you know, The Intelligent Investor by Warren Buffett, and really all old school books, they'll say a PE of 20 is like, that's the highest you should go. But now stocks are valuations of stocks are a lot higher nowadays, just because there's more people in the market, there's more money in the market, it's just exploded. So a PE of around 20, that's really cheap. All right, so anything in the 25, 30, like that's pretty good. Apple's around 27, that's like a good stock. It's like a good range. Twitter, it has negative earnings, so it doesn't even have a PE. So compared to all of its peers, and that's the only way you can really compare companies, Facebook is pretty cheap. All right, it has a low debt relative to equity ratio. So what does that mean? We talked about this before. A debt to equity ratio is how much debt a company has relative to how much it actually owns. All right, so really quickly how we do that, we go to Wall Street Journal like we've done before. I'll type in Facebook, and these are things that you can do when looking at almost any company, right? You want to take a quick look at its PE. There are better methods to look at to see if a stock is relatively priced, but PE is probably one of the easiest ones. So you want to go to the balance sheet. Like we said, liabilities and equity. Okay, so you look at the long-term debt, how much the company owes, and then after a year, over a year from now, it's $10 billion. And you look at its shareholder equity, $128 billion. All right. So like we've talked about before, Facebook has $128 billion in equity compared to its 10 billion in debt. Okay. Typically, if you want to look at another company, this number is typically could be as high as 2 times its equity. All right. So it's in a really good position. Even better way to look at this, if you want to really look at the financials, is look at its cash and short-term investments. Facebook has $62 billion in essentially cash. Short-term investments are just investments they can sell within a year. So it's as good as cash. It's like if they have something like maybe like in stocks, or if they have something like in a treasuries, stuff that's easily liquid that they can get out within a year. So they have enough cash sitting in the bank to the point where they could pay off all of their liabilities. All of their liabilities altogether, total liabilities 31 billion. They have 62 billion in cash. So as far as from a financial standpoint, they are super duper strong. In this article, they were even talking about Facebook potentially even now giving out a dividend even of 1%. If they gave it a dividend of 1%, that would only be $8 billion. So they already have 62. That would only be giving out 8 billion. They could easily give out a 1% dividend. Hell, they could easily give out a 3% dividend if they wanted to. So super important to look for companies that are financially strong. So we got cheap compared to competitors. We got low debt to equity ratio. Here's one that's kind of controversial, but I mean, it is what it is. Addictive characteristics. Okay, I was reading on this site, addictioncenters.com, and apparently 5 to 10 Americans are apparently addicted to social media. Right, it says it here. Psychiatrists estimate that as many as 5 to 10% of Americans meet the criteria for social media addiction today. I don't know about you, but I don't think those statistics are going to get any better anytime soon. All right. When you look at social media, not only is it just a pervasive part of our culture, but it's something that people are doing all around us. All right. And I think if I ask everyone to put a W in the chat, if you've ever heard of Instagram, I think all 30 of us on here would put a W in the chat. If I ask you to put a W in the chat for everyone on here who's at least heard of or been on Facebook, okay, in the past maybe 24 hours, 30 minutes, I'd probably get 75 to 80% of you all have said yes, me too. All right, so there's an addictive characteristic of this. This is why I also like invest. Sorry.
I'm glad that you brought this up because this is just from the research that they've been able to do, the people that actually volunteer to share this information. I would like to believe that there's far more people that's addicted to social media. And because it's one of the very first things I look at when I wake up, in the morning, but I didn't do this survey.
Yeah, me neither. They ain't get me to it.
My name is Amber. I am a social media hot
Clubhouse feed check.
Your Clubhouse. Hi, Amber.
Hi. And I'm sure like you'd be on there with a lot of other people, right? People feel discomfort. They reach into their pocket and they hit a quick scroll and they feel good. And there's a really good documentary on Netflix called I forgot. You guys have probably seen it. Maybe throw it in the chat if you heard of it.
Social Dilemma.
Yes, The Social Dilemma. And that even more so got me hooked on Facebook because of the addictive personality and how it's really changing people's personalities according to this documentary. So it's just a product that's pervasive. So like that, cigarettes, tobacco, gambling, alcohol, like those sort of things kind of pry on addictive characteristics of humans. So I think they'll be around for a long time. It's a scientific way to look at it. Maybe not the nicest way, but it is what it is, right? And kids are starting to use this stuff even earlier. Here's a market share dominance. So this blew my mind, right? So if we're looking at this website called StatCounter, they talk about these are all the social media stats worldwide. And you see Facebook just has clear dominance over every other social media platform. So it's a $61 billion industry. And on top of that, it's growing at a 16% rate per year, right? And the industry, apparently the market size of the industry is growing at 21%. Sorry, what's this one? Market size of the industry, the market size.
I love that you shared that. Because when you're buying a house, right, and you're trying to choose the neighborhood that you want your house to be in. Some people buy homes because they want to live there, but like me, I buy for investment, and that's something that I look at. What percentage is the value going up per year, right? And so just thinking about that, it's increasing at 16.5%, right? And I don't know if that's something we should take into account in terms of the value of Facebook or just like the amount of people that's using it. But when you think about just something that's growing at that rate, that's phenomenal. I want to be a part of that and I want a piece of it, and I can enter into that at a lower cost, right? Than where it may take more money to enter into like real estate and so forth. On top of that, just based on the balance sheet that you shared, they have cash on deck. So it's not like fluff, right? Like you have a lot of companies now that skyrocketed as a result of the pandemic. And now we saw a huge retrace, right? We saw a huge correction that took place over the past 2 months as a result of the hype amongst these companies, but them not actually having the cash on hand to back it up. And so this is something that's huge that actually just really stands out to me in terms of, where my money should be going when it comes to the tech space and so forth.
Yo, I feel you, man. I feel everything you just said, Amber. I feel it all. Right. And that 20 and over the past 5 years, right? 21%. So even faster than last year. Right. And with the kids getting even smaller. So yeah, boom, boom, boom. All that growth. And I think this is probably my last slide. Yeah. Last one is the underlying assets. So Facebook, I mean, people just look at Facebook, oh, that's for old phonies. Again, they own Instagram, which they bought in 2012. Guess how much they bought it for? Only $1 billion. It's the biggest steal of all time. Okay, according to this article, they have Instagram valued at $850 billion now. Hold on, is that what they said? Hold on, I'm gonna find that. 1 second. 90%. Oh, sorry. Instagram is worth, according to this valuation that they came up with, they said Instagram is worth $750 billion now. Okay, 700.
That's crazy.
That's what I said. But okay, but how they came up with the valuation was like they kind of matched Snap, the way they valued Snap and something else. But the fact is that in Barron's, they have this analyst saying $750 billion. Meanwhile, Facebook itself is an $850 billion company. And really quickly, why I say it's an $850 billion company, is you go to the market cap. The market capitalization is essentially the public size of the company. How they come up with this number, they take the size, or they take the number here, the stock price, and they multiply it times the number of shares that are outstanding, times the number of shares that are out in the public. And that gives you essentially the market value of the company, the market capitalization. So the market is saying Facebook is worth 850. And in this article, Instagram alone is worth 750. So you're telling me WhatsApp, Facebook, and Oculus aren't worth about 100 billion a piece? Gotta be worth way more than that combined. All right. So these are all assets that they're kind of hard to quantify, which is why I don't think people like Warren Buffett and kind of the old heads get into it. But I mean, you and I both know that they're valuable. So that's gonna close this out. Again, if you want to get a recording of this or learn some more about investing and get a part of our community, please join our band app.
Oh, it's Ginger?
Yeah, Ginger.
That's good.
Thank you.
If you can just redrop that link. Also,
I'm gonna
I
redrop
wanted to
the link.
share that Tiara and Jess left their contact information. So if you wanted to get in contact with them, especially I saw that 3 people. Hold on, AB, the background's a little bit loud, really quickly. Let me mute it really
I
quick.
don't think he realizes.
All right, there we go. So if you wanted to contact Jess or Tiara and get some more insight so that you can start making these money moves, making job moves. I definitely made a job move, what have you, last year around the same time, and I have not looked back. So and there's some more moves I'm trying to make, right? In terms of like expanding Ratchet assets and making sure that my business is put out there, and they dropped some serious gems. Some of the stuff I had a little bit of knowledge about, but definitely connect with them and contact them to pick their brains in terms of how you can use the resources that they share to make those moves. Will just drop some serious gems. He's been talking about Facebook since day one. It's because of him that I actually invested in Facebook, not trying to pump the stock. You guys know, full disclaimer, you know, because there's a lot of like people like pumping and dumping and all the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta get a lot of
naturally-
volume before we gotta get a lot of volume behind that to pump Facebook. But I love the gumption. I love it.
Yeah, but I am I get excited about the companies that I invest in because I truly believe in it. And Will months ago, probably even a year ago, Will did, shared some insight about Facebook. And as a result, me, him, I believe Kim, we was on it. We all decided, we was gonna jump in or what have you. And so definitely do your due diligence and look to see, because maybe $298 is a lot, but maybe you could do some options in it. I don't know.
Fractional shares, man.
Fractional shares and so forth. Definitely make sure that you get in on it while it's still priced low. And I want to share out this as well, because you think about Amazon. Amazon is known for, having their stores where people are able to promote their businesses and stuff like that. But Facebook also have a platform where people promote their businesses. They run ads, right?
Everyone talks about Facebook ads.
Everyone. It's like so much so that I've been studying how to use Facebook ads. I've been studying it, right? And so do I see Facebook competing with Amazon? Absolutely. Absolutely. And more so because with Facebook, if you start a business, you're already connected to people that's been interacting with you, from years. So definitely look into Facebook, see how you can get in on it. And even if you're not able to invest in it, see how it can work for you in terms of you building your brand and in terms of you just making more money by using that platform. So Will, thank you as always. Y'all throw some W's in the chat box for my boy Will.
I do have one more thing to drop, Amber. Mm-hmm. And it's a surprise, and I'm sorry I should have told you about this earlier too. Sorry about this. But anyway, so Pauline is actually going to be spearheading a book club for the group and also outside of the group too. So it's something that's going to be completely free for our members. Okay.
Yes.
So yes, free 99. All right. For the first month, come on in, please join the book club. All right. If you're interested, please go ahead and reach out directly to Pauline in the chat. Okay. You're going to reach out, or when you join the band group. All right. So if you're on today, please reach out directly to Pauline right there. She's got the face right here, Pauline S. All right, come on and join the book club. We're gonna have a great time. It's really going to be really simple. The goal is to read a book per month. And Pauline, you can add on to this if you want. Really quick plug. The goal is to read a book per month. Okay, and this book and us, we're gonna act as kind of like your mentors and guide you through this book. We're not gonna be throwing out ticker symbols and things of that nature, but really take it piece by piece. Let's say it's a 12-chapter book. We're going to read about 3 chapters per week. We're going to have specified pieces that we want to go over. And then we want to hear about things that you guys just need more explanation on. All right. So again, if you want to join our book club, please go ahead and reach directly out to Pauline. All right. Super fun.
Nice. I'm excited about that.
Nice.
There's a couple of books that I'm interested in reading, and like being a part of the book club will help all of us stay accountable, right? In terms of doing the due diligence and making sure that we're not just jumping on to stuff and losing money and so forth without actually having the education behind it. So shout out to Pauline for leading and taking initiative in terms of starting this book club, you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you. It's so awesome. I'm excited. And you're welcome, Amanda. Pauline, anything else? Can we give Pauline maybe 2 seconds if you want to add anything, Pauline?
Yes. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
1 second.
You go, Pauline.
Pauline, did you want to add something? Oh, she's up.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So Will summed it up. Thank you for that. I am a true bookworm by heart, and I wanted to definitely be able to extend some of my knowledge in the investment banking field. There's so many things and resources that are out there right now, and I feel, having a book club would help people kind of streamline some of the information that they've received. So there's not so much of, information overload by maybe individuals that are just starting in investing, or individuals that are really like, pushing the narrative of, let's really get into these stocks that are being pumped. And then, everybody's losing their money. So this is kind of the narrative that I've been hearing as of late. and always wanted to start a book club. And I said, you know what, I think this would be the best way that people can get the information from the proper sources, but then also be able to kind of formulate their own analogy of what they need to invest in based off of true and tried techniques that have been written by individuals that have PhDs, MBAs, or just been in the market for many, many years. So yeah, I'm excited about this. We have a few people that have already contacted me through Ben. So we've been communicating in the DMs. And so if you guys are ready to, I wanna be able to have a true number of individuals in this particular group, because as of this month, I'm going to cap it off so that we can, allow everybody to be able to talk and have a small group. But then next month, of course, I have other few people that I have been working with that's going to join as well. So we're going to cap it off. So today would be like the last day so that I can get all the everybody's emails out and the book selection. And then we're going to actually do, I believe we talked about doing Tuesday evening at 5 o'clock, right?
Yes. Thank you. That was the important part. Also put in the chat what time works best for you all. The time, like what day. We would say Tuesday works best, but what time? We didn't know if it was going to be 5 o'clock evening. So go ahead and throw that in the chat if you're interested in joining.
Yeah, we want to be able to accommodate everybody. I'm pretty flexible in the evenings, of course, after market, once the market closes. So if everybody can just let me know what time would work best for you, and then we can just compromise on something for everyone. And that's really it. I don't want to go into too much. Oh, so what happens is, just to kind of interject a little bit on the process. So we have individuals, you come in and you're part of the book club, and it's free for this month. And we will require you to purchase the book. I will ship the book out to you, to your home, or wherever you'd like it to be shipped out to. And a percentage of the proceeds from that book is going to go to a nonprofit organization. And I've selected Will's nonprofit, Project Grow, as the candidate. So these proceeds are going to go to the children that are investing and who have great knowledge and acquiring knowledge from Will. So I wanted to also just be able to help our community. We talk about generational wealth and all that, and why are we not doing that with individuals that are pushing that narrative to the youth? So yeah. So definitely, if you can today, I know everybody's busy, but take a moment and just, message me so that I can get everything going, and we can start the process of ordering the books or ordering the book, and then be able to have our weekly discussion. So, and I feel like this is going to be great too. It's like, everything I think Will does, and of course I can speak for myself, is, we go really all in for you guys, and, information that will be given is going to help you with your investment journey. So it's not about just, okay, go and buy this particular stock. It's about, why would you go and buy that particular stock? And if you're looking for an X percentage return, this will help you formulate that information so that you feel comfortable with your investments. So I'm a chatter, so I'm gonna, swing it over to who needs to go, because it's about almost 3 o'clock. So thank you guys. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Pauline.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And the link is in the box to join the Ben app. Also, the recordings are always there. So if you missed out on something or need to replay something, then you can definitely, the recording will be there later on today. And next, we're just going to close out with AB. Doesn't really have a presentation, but he's going to share some stuff, keep you guys inspired, and then we're going to go ahead and let you go. AB. Is he here? I know you was on. I know he has some stuff going on as well. AB, are you there still?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, I'm still here.
Close out, friend.
My bad. Yeah, I've been here in spirit the whole time, but we're doing a little multitasking. I don't know how to flip the camera, but anyway, I'm helping one of my friends at a fair, or at a flea market kind of thing. But anyway, yeah. So I won't be too long. I know we kind of talked about a lot of stuff. I've been in listening to it, so I won't be too long. The main thing that I want to talk about that was kind of on topic is sometimes leveraging where you're working is totally. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was a loud noise right as I was trying to find a quiet spot. But anyway, sometimes leveraging your position, like they were talking about, is still a very good thing. Being an entrepreneur is a totally different track, and it's not for everybody. First of all, and then second of all, the main thing is, a lot of times people try to do things on their own. So the main thing that I'll hit on is it's very important to, if you can, have a good team, have a good network of people. If you can try to find someone who is where you are, there's nothing wrong with getting mentorship. Some people, they're working at their place of employment, and a lot of people rag on the 9 to 5, but I did a 9 to 5 for 7 years before starting my business. And if anything, I learned a lot of the skills that I needed to, because I had time to focus on, and really refine what I wanted to do while still making a salary. So again, there's nothing wrong with that. And then the flip side of it is, if you're going to be working somewhere that doesn't pay very well, try to work somewhere that you can still get complementary skills related to whatever it is that you want to do. So even if it's a low paying job, when I first started doing taxes, I worked at H&R Block and I got paid $9 an hour. It was terrible, but I got to meet a lot of different clients. I got to meet a lot of different scenarios that I wouldn't have otherwise gotten. So I put myself in that position where, even though it was $9 an hour, I was able to capitalize on being at the right place at the right time. And then the last thing that I'll say is, going back to having a team. I guess you'd say a bit of a testimony. I was away from the podcast for a little while because a few weeks ago I got into a really bad car accident, and I totaled my car, and it was bad. But anyway, my all praises to the Most High for still being here. But my team really stepped up, and they were able to take care of everything while I was away. And so, like I said, having that team and having those people who believe in your vision, or are at least willing to put aside a little bit of themselves in order to help you get to where you go, it goes a long way. We have things like Clubhouse, we have things like these apps where it will not be hard. If you manifest something, it will not be hard to find people they don't necessarily have to be doing the same thing as you, but you'll find that people who do something can do anything. So the main thing is, if you surround yourself with those types of people and you say, okay, I have fallen, and, I need help and that kind of stuff. As long as I'm very much of a person who struggles with asking for help. And if you know me and you know me well, it's something that I even have to work on. I'll take 6 hours and do something by myself before asking somebody who could do it in 20 minutes for me. And that's something that I know about myself and that I have to work on. But it was especially beneficial to me to have people who showed me that they cared about me, and who showed me that, it doesn't have to all fall on your shoulders, even when you think it does. Even when you think you're alone, first of all, God is always with you. And second of all, you'd be surprised how many people are there for you, even when you don't necessarily see it, or if they don't show it. That's it. Okay.
AB, thank you so much for joining us. I'm very fortunate. You spoke about team. I was out for 3 weeks, just like because there was a lot of stuff. Family member passed away, a lot of personal issues, and the team component is very, very important in terms of just having legitimate, authentic people who not only care about you, but care about your success and so forth. So
it's my team right here.
I see.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Amber says hi.
Love them.
That's the little girl.
She ran
Great.
away.
It is. Yeah, it is extremely important that whenever you are a part of this journey in terms of building your wealth, or wanting to move to a place of, or move to the next level, that you do have a support system or a team. So I just want to thank you all. I want to thank you for just being here today. Thank God that that he gave you another day of life to live. And I'm very thankful that you are part of this team as well. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and end this session. Thank you all for joining us, for being consistent. Next week we will be celebrating my 1-year anniversary for Ratchet Assets. I have been doing these webinars for 1 year, you all. So I'm excited. So that means we're going to be giving away stuff. I'm going to look for some more people to come on, share some insight. It's going to be lit next week. So please make sure that you tune in. Also, don't be shy. Tell your friends about what Ratchet Assets, Aqua Financial, and the Project Grow have going on, you all. We're going to continuously to drop these jewels to you for free every Saturday as we strive to build a community of Black and Brown individuals who are on a path to generating wealth and so forth. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end on that note. It's getting a little bit loud and crazy over here. So I will see you all next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.